This is Mike Keys again. This is the second installment on my critique of the Goldtone Marcy Marxer CEB4 Cello Banjo. This is the 4-string version, not the 5-string version, and it's been used for old-time music, and I'm just starting to use it for Irish music. That was an Irish reel called Castle Kelly. Well, what have I found out in the last week? Well, for one thing, this 14-inch head is a real monster. It's designed specifically for these low tones, and it really brings them out. I tried lowering the strings on my 11-inch head, and it doesn't come anywhere close, although I have an 11.5-inch banjo, which is starting to sound a little bit better like this. I've taken it to 2 sessions now, and it really is not the same thing as bringing a tenor banjo to the sessions. This provides much more of a bass, both in the term BASE and BASS, for the music in a session, which is usually inhabited by a large number of musicians. I can't really lead a tune, although I did lead a couple of tunes, like the one I just played, because it sounds pretty good in the baritone range. I will just play the tune or play some counter tunes with it. It sounds very good. Believe it or not, this instrument puts out a lot of energy. Even though it's got the nylon strings on it, this head just pumps out the low notes. The other thing I found out was that if you try different thicknesses of picks and different materials, you get different sounds. There's nothing new about that. But this instrument, usually I find that all the picks that I've used have a pleasing but different sound from one another. Now, for instance, this is, and I'll try a similar pick, a Dugain gypsy pick. You probably can't hear it with this cheap microphone, but it's slightly more defined than this pick is. This is great for playing background, but not for playing lead. The next one down on the list is the Big Stubby by Dunlop. This is the 3mm one. You can hear a much more nasal, much more treble sound from that. And then finally, probably the lowest I'd ever go is a 1.5mm Dunlop Gator grip, which has a nice smooth finish to it. Now, the advantage of this thinner, which is only relatively speaking, pick, is that you probably can play faster with it because it doesn't generate as many low overtones as the very thick Wagon pick does, the Gypsy Jazz Wagon pick. And while I like the full fat sound here for most of the stuff, if I'm going to play faster, then I would probably go to this. I'll play in the wrong tuning, of course. Playing a little bit faster than you should play. Now here it is with the other extreme. tell it's muddier and it rattles a lot more because you're imparting a lot more energy into the strings, which then wave a lot more, catching the frets up here. That's what the rattling is. The rattling is not down here as much as it is up here. So you have to be somewhat careful. But I find that if you use the proper pick, you can play a little faster, and you can accompany that 5-string banjo the way Marcy Marxer does with Kathy Fink. One other thing, I found that if you capo up 2, just like you do with the standard banjo tuning, you'll find yourself in whistle range. This being the D here, or G. I mean, this is the B note, and this is the D note. So the standard whistle, D whistle, doesn't go below this D note. You can play anything that the standard whistle will play, but you can't play the neat things that a banjo does when it gets into that growly G string. The only advantage it has is you don't have to reach up like you do with like you do with the standard tuning. So you see Jerry O'Connor playing his standard C, G, D, A banjo, capoed up 2, and there's a nice little YouTube of him and Bella Fleck playing May Behind the Bar. He goes. Well, I screwed up, but that's all right. You get the point. But frankly, I think it sounds much better with the capo off. You can play in D as long as you kind of think in A terms if you're used to playing a mandolin. You can play in G if you're thinking D terms. A minor is similar to E minor here. In fact, the only difficulty you have is if you have E minor to D tunes, you have to think a little harder about that one, but it's still simply the A scale. Okay, well, that's it for right now. We're starting to get a rainstorm. My playing is starting to deteriorate like mad, so I think we'll cut it off for now, but there will be more as I learn more about the cello banjo.